Yo, what's going on, trainers? Yesterday was Pokemon Day and I was supposed to post this video then, so I'm just gonna have to post it today instead. Now, if you're new here, I usually do not do Pokemon content. I actually do a lot of Beyblade content. So if you enjoy that as well, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Now, before we get into this, it's important to know that I'm only gonna talk about like the major things. So pretty much all of the mobile stuff, I'm just gonna skip over. Now, first off is something that I'm kind of mixed on. It is a device that looks like the original Game Boy, but instead of playing games, it actually plays songs from the Game Boy era of Pokemon. Now on paper that does sound like a cool collectible. The problem is that the 45 songs are spread across 45 cartridges, which I think is a waste because these 45 songs could have just been put on like 1 or 2 cartridges instead of 45. So honestly, I just don't plan on picking this up. Next up, they talked about the TCG a little bit, and they showed this scene that showed different cards from different eras of Pokemon. Like you have some from the original set, you have some from Pokemon X and Y, Sun and Moon. Now this could just simply be them showing the evolution of the trading card game. Now I think it would be cooler if this is actually teasing a set similar to Pokemon Evolutions back in the day, where that set remade all of the original Pokemon cards, but instead of that, maybe this time it can just reprint cards from a bunch of different sets. So yeah, that could be pretty exciting. Next up, they revealed that Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is coming to the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube app. I still need to play this game at some point, either on my original GameCube or on my Switch, so that's pretty cool. So a few days ago, they announced ports of Fire Red and Leaf Green for the Nintendo Switch, and since yesterday you were able to finally play these, but in the Pokemon Presents they actually announced that these will be compatible with Pokemon Home in the future, which is pretty cool. Now if you're a fan of Pokemon ZA, they did announce that Garchomp will be getting a new Mega Evolution called Mega Garchomp Z, but even though I love Generation 6, I don't care that much about ZA. They showed some more cute stuff for Pokemon Pokopia, and it looks pretty fun, but to be honest, I don't think I'm picking this up. Now we're moving on to what everyone was looking forward to, which is the announcement of Generation 10. And this announcement actually had me pretty worried because at first they just showed a little cinematic of, you know, these drawings of Pikachu, and then these 2 Pikachus dressed up in vacation clothes showed up, and I thought that was all they were going to show, but luckily they showed actual gameplay after that, and I'm pretty sure that the cinematic was just showing that this Pikachu will be in Pokemon Winds and that this one will be in Pokemon Waves. At least I hope that's what's happening because this Pikachu is super cute. Now the footage of Generation 10 actually looks pretty good, and I'm not saying it's on par with other video games out right now or even from the last few years, but in terms of Pokemon games at least, it does look good. I mean, even just comparing it to Scarlet and Violet is a literal night and day difference. Now you should take into consideration that the game will likely look better than it does in the trailer when it eventually comes out because they have a whole year to polish it up and make it look better. These games are honestly giving me heavy Sun and Moon vibes, which is nice because out of all the Pokemon games I have played, Pokemon Moon was probably my favorite. Now just like everyone, I hope Gen 10 has voice acting, and like it doesn't even have to be fully voice acted, it can just be for the more cinematic scenes and moments in the game. Now one of the most anticipated things when it comes to a new release is what these starters will look like, and sadly these starters are already getting a lot of hate, but that's to be expected when a new generation comes out. People will always hate on the new starters, but then a year or 2 after they come out, people start to warm up to them more. And personally, I think these new starters are adorable. The grass type is called Brout, the fire type is called Pombon, and the water type is called Gekwa. Now you look at Pombon and it's obviously inspired by a Pomeranian dog, which like thank God we finally have a dog starter in Pokemon. Now if you look at Brout and Gekwa, one of the main reasons they're getting hated on is because people are saying that they're just copies of starters that we've had in the past. People say that Brout is a copy of Rowlet and that Gekwa is a copy of Sobble, but here's the thing, Rowlet was an owl. Brout is not. Brout is a chicken. And the same thing for Gekwa. Sobble was some kind of chameleon or basilisk lizard, but Gekwa is obviously a gecko. Those are not the same things. Another complaint that people have about the starters is that they're too simple and they don't use enough colors, but are we forgetting that these are starter Pokemon? They're supposed to be kind of basic. They are what you start off with. I mean, look back at Generation 1 with Charmander. He has the same level of detail as these new starters. Now, as for what starter I'm gonna pick, it's actually a tie. I can't decide between Brout and Gekwa, so I guess it just depends on what they evolve into. Now really quick, something that's interesting is that people think these clouds right here could be hinting at the box art legendaries, so let me know what you think. So right here they reveal the names for these games, which is Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves, which happens to be exactly what the leaks said they would be called, and as you see right here, they release in 2027, and I really don't want to wait a year to play these. What if that means that they have more time to improve upon them? I guess I could try to bear waiting. Anyways, unless the box art legendary sucks, I'm kind of leaning towards Pokemon Waves right now because I just like the name and the vibes better. Plus this Pikachu might be exclusive to Waves, and I think it's the cuter of the two. I also feel like Pokemon Waves honestly matches what games I picked or would have picked for every other generation. In Gen 1 I picked Blue, in Gen 2 I picked Silver. I didn't play the original Gen 3 games, but I did play the remakes and I picked Alpha Sapphire, so obviously I would have picked Sapphire. And it's the same thing for Generation 4, I played the remake and picked Brilliant Diamond. Gen 5 I haven't played at all, but if I ever do, I'm playing Black. Gen 6 I played X, Gen 7 I played Moon/Ultra Moon, Gen 8 I played Shield, and finally Gen 9 I played Violet. So yeah, I'm most likely gonna get Waves, but let me know which one you're picking in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe and like as well, because I'm trying to hit 250 subscribers by the end of this year. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap the video up now, so take care and keep training.